Sometimes what weighs us down the most isn't what's happening around us. It's what we keep replaying in our minds. A harsh word, a mistake, an argument that ended but still echoes in your mind. Sometimes it could be even smaller things, like someone who cut you off in traffic on your commute this morning. We carry things long after they've passed. Today's story, which I shared in the short last week, is an old Buddhist parable that reminds us that peace doesn't come from avoiding difficulty. It comes from knowing when to set it down. Two monks were traveling together on a long journey. They walked in silence, mindful of each step. Eventually, they reached a river where they saw a woman struggling to cross. Monks take vows that include not touching women. It's a commitment meant to help them maintain detachment and purity. But seeing her in distress, one of the monks simply lifted her up, carried her across the river, and set her down safely on the other side. Without a word, the two monks continued walking. Hours passed in silence. Finally, the second monk couldn't hold it in any longer. He said, "Brother, you shouldn't have done that. You broke your vow by touching her." The first monk smiled gently and replied, "I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" How often do we do the same? We carry conversations long after they're over. We replay moments wishing we'd said something different. We hold on to resentment, guilt, or embarrassment, and it becomes mental clutter that follows us everywhere we go. The second monk carried the woman in his mind long after the first monk had let her go. And that's what we do when we don't forgive, when we don't release, when we keep opening old wounds. In our world, it's easy to hold on. We have screenshots, messages, and constant reminders of what hurt us. But letting go doesn't mean pretending it never happened. It means choosing peace over replaying pain. So how do we actually let go? Sometimes it starts with a breath. When your mind brings up something painful, pause and take one slow, kind breath. That breath reminds your body that the moment has already passed. You can also write it down, not to dwell on it, but to release it. Let the words leave your mind and land on paper, where they can rest. Then, if you're ready, let the page go too. Forgiveness helps, but not always in the way we imagine. You don't have to excuse what happened. Forgiveness is simply saying, "I won't let this moment have power over me anymore." Letting go can also mean redirecting your energy. Walking outside, talking to a friend, moving your body. When you do something nurturing, you remind yourself that life continues, and so can you. When you stop carrying what's already over, you make space for something lighter, peace, clarity, even joy. You can't walk peacefully if you're still holding the past. Sometimes peace isn't about fixing everything. It's about gently setting something down. Letting go isn't something you do once. It's something you practice every time your mind revisits the past. Each time, you have a choice. Do I want to carry this again, or set it down? You might find yourself returning to the same thought, the same regret, the same person, again and again. That doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human, and awareness itself is progress. The more often you notice the weight, the easier it becomes to lay it down sooner. It's like carrying a heavy bag. You carry it all the time, and soon you don't even know it's there. But once you do start noticing, you can finally put it down. As you practice letting go, you'll start to notice the feeling that follows, the lightness in your chest, the breath that moves a little easier, the quiet happiness that fills the space where tension used to live. That's peace. That's freedom. And the more you notice that feeling, the more familiar it becomes. So the next time something happens, someone says something hurtful, or life doesn't go as planned, you'll remember what peace feels like. And this time, letting go will come more naturally. because your heart already knows the way back. The monk in the story didn't deny what happened. He simply refused to keep holding it. That's the quiet power of peace. It doesn't come from control. It comes from release. So if something is sitting heavy on your heart today, pause, take a breath, and whisper to yourself, Mai Pen Rai, it's okay. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to stop carrying what's already over. Because peace isn't somewhere you go. It's something you return to each time you remember to set it down. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.